Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Campus hoax. The chancellor of UNCW weighs in on the report that prompted a campus-wide lockdown.
And it's going to be a beautiful weekend to be outside, a little on the hot side. I'll talk about the weekend forecast and some fun places that you could be outside.
Increased security. What football fans can expect at this week's high school football game after a shooting in Edgecombe County.
One day after an active shooter false alarm placed UNC Wilmington on a campus-wide lockdown, we are hearing from the university's chancellor. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Chris Levingood. Thanks so much for joining us. Chancellor Aswani Valetti expressed frustration and anger in response to false reports about a gunman on campus. WRAL's Ken Smith is here with more on Valetti's message. Ken, classes are canceled today at UNCW.
Chris, I would imagine giving students and faculty the day off today is an opportunity for that entire campus to just exhale and recover from a rather intense and scary few hours yesterday. This was the alert that went out to the campus community there at UNCW, alerting everyone about an unconfirmed report of a person with a gun on campus. The law enforcement response on the campus from the campus police, Wilmington Police, and other nearby agencies were immediate and substantial. For more than 3 hours, from around 7 in the evening until about 10 o'clock last night, everyone sheltered in place, including the chancellor. Well, today, Chancellor Valetti reflected on that incident and tried to ease in fears and concerns that may be lingering across that campus community.
Now is the time for us collectively to take action, to continue our investigations, to protect our campus, and to ensure our people's safety. While yesterday was a challenging day for all of us, I want you to be assured that your safety and well-being are paramount to me and our community at large.
Well, back in late August and earlier this month, based on some research we did, at least 50 universities across the U.S. were affected by these so-called swatting calls, similar to what UNCW experienced yesterday. Now, in addition, law enforcement agencies report the cost for this response for these types of bogus threats can range anywhere from tens of thousands of dollars to more than $100,000. Of course, we'll have additional reporting on this story online, of course, WRAL News Plus, and on our news starting at 4.
Ken, thank you. High school football fans will see increased security measures 1 week after a shooting at a Southwest Edgecombe football game. Kids scattered from the stands and the field last week after that shooting. The Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office is doubling the number of deputies they have at these games from 6 to 12. On top of more deputies, fans will notice more lighting, weapons detection systems, and metal detectors. 17-year-old Jamarin Hinton is facing attempted first-degree murder charges for that shooting. Newly obtained warrants reveal how investigators identified and tracked Hinton to a house in Raleigh. Witnesses described the suspect to investigators and told them they heard arguing and a gunshot near the concession stand. Deputies reviewed body cam video from authorities in that area and identified the person matching the description. Authorities then tracked the phone to a home on Bart Street in Raleigh, where they found a gun and 2 phones.
This weekend, conservative political activist Charlie Kirk will be remembered at a memorial service. Kirk was shot on September 10th at an event on the campus of Utah Valley University. The memorial will be held at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, the home of the NFL's Arizona Cardinals. His wife, Erica, is expected to speak at her husband's memorial on Sunday. Other speakers include President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance.
And here in the Live Center, just in the last hour or so, the House passed a resolution in honor of Charlie Kirk. I want to take you through some of what it says here. It calls him a courageous American patriot. It goes on to say that he became one of the most prominent voices in America. And then it says that he personified the values of the First Amendment. The House voted overwhelmingly in support of this resolution this morning, 310 to 58. More than 90 Democrats voted against this resolution. This resolution also condemns the assassination as political violence.
It's the last weekend of summer and hot weather is making a comeback. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is at the NC Museum of Natural Sciences in downtown Raleigh to talk about our weekend forecast there. And Bugfest is happening too, Elizabeth.
It is. That is my favorite event that happens at the museum. They're getting ready for it. It's all day tomorrow. And behind me is this beautiful sand sculpture that we'll talk more about coming up in a little while. I'll tell you, when I was walking up here, I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? You can tell it's more muggy. We have lots of sunshine, which is beautiful, but it just feels a whole lot more like summer. Let's take a look outside right now, and you can see that everything is beautiful across our viewing area. We have lots of sunshine out there right now. This is a live look at the airport, and just beautiful sunshine. We'll talk temperatures. It's 86 degrees. Our dew point is 62, which isn't terrible. You know, if it were 72, it would feel oppressively muggy, but I'm sort of surprised standing out here. The 62 does kind of feel muggy. Maybe it's the fact that it's 86 degrees and we're headed for 90. Current temperatures across the area: 86 in Fayetteville and Clinton. It's 84 in Rocky Mount and 81 right now in Roxborough. And then the summer heat kicks in this afternoon. 90 degrees today, 87 Saturday, and then 82 on Sunday. On Sunday, we'll have a front that comes through, helping to cool things off just a little bit. I'll walk you through that coming up in just a few minutes. Of course, we still have active tropics. It's going to be a great weekend to head to the beach, but I'll show you why we're not likely to see any impact from Gabrielle. So lots to cover over the next little while. So I'll be back in just a little bit.
Sounds good. We will see you then. Breaking news: with the deadline a week away, House Republicans passed a temporary spending bill to prevent a government shutdown on October 1st. The vote was 217 to 212 to advance the 7-week stopgap bill. It applies pressure on Senate Democrats to decide whether to back the measure or stand by their vows to oppose it and risk a potential spending stalemate. Republicans Thomas Massey and Victoria Spartz voted against the bill. Democratic Jared Golden of Maine joined Republicans in support of it. The Senate will take procedural votes on both parties' offers later this afternoon.
A local high school is taking the usual Friday night football game to help raise awareness about mental health. WRAL's Kirsten Clark is live at Green Level High School in Cary to explain what students are doing there.
Yeah, Chris, Green Level is scheduled to take on Panther Creek right here on the field tonight. It's actually a big rivalry matchup, but that's not the focus of tonight's game. Faculty, students, coaches, fans will all be wearing these black and white T-shirts to promote mental health awareness. Now, as you can see, it reads NAMI. That stands for the National Alliance for Mental Illness, and the Wake County chapter is working with students here, actually the football team's captains, to promote this effort. Now, we spoke today with Jackson Evans. He's a senior on the football team, and he told us that actually this all started last year when the senior on the team there decided to come up with this idea to promote mental health awareness. But Evans wants to continue putting mental health at the forefront of students' minds to let them know that they are not alone. Now, leaders with NAMI, they held an event at Green Level High School earlier this week to point out the warning signs of someone struggling with mental illness. Listen to this. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for North Carolina youth ages 10 to 18. And Evans and a Green Level High School lead counselor, they tell us they hope they can play a role in changing that.
If one person can be helped by this, you know, it's important. I know there are people who struggle, so even just getting one person to help.
The shirt can mean something because you go home, you're putting it on, you're like, wait, what is that about? It starts conversation. And I think that it's enough to where if we say to students, here's the places you can go, it sounds so much better from them, though.
Now, this all lands during Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. So what better time to have these conversations than now? We're also told that some students and organizers will be presenting some wellness skits during the game tonight. So kickoff is at 7 p.m. There will be a lot happening. And again, all to promote mental health awareness. Live at Green Level High School, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
A second suspect now faces charges in connection with a shooting last month off Pool Road. Raleigh police arrested 24-year-old Axel Sagalon Diaz. He faces 5 counts of firing a weapon in an occupied building. 18-year-old Angelo Rodriguez also faces numerous charges in this. He appeared in court last month. The victim in the case is expected to recover, but no word on what led to the shooting.
Destiny Patterson here in the WRAL Live Center. That highly anticipated call between the U.S. president and the Chinese president about a possible TikTok deal has wrapped up. President Trump posted to Truth Social saying that he completed a very productive call with the president of China. And then he goes on to say that they talked about many things, including the approval of that TikTok deal. To give you a little bit of context, they previously were going back and forth about this deal because of national security concerns. They say that this deal would help avoid a TikTok ban, if you remember, in January when TikTok went black in the U.S. because of these negotiations. And then the president ends this post by saying that they will be meeting at the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum in South Korea in November. It's not 100% clear if there was anything concrete that was accomplished on this call, so we'll have to continue following this one.
Thank you, Destiny. Right now, the former U.S. attorney who negotiated Jeffrey Epstein's 2008 plea deal is testifying before the House Oversight Committee. Alexander Acosta is speaking behind closed doors with both Democrats and Republicans. Epstein avoided a federal trial at the time of the plea deal. He served just 13 months in prison for state prostitution charges over his involvement with underage girls. Acosta resigned in 2019 amid renewed scrutiny over the plea deal. In July of 2019, Epstein was arrested and charged in connection with having operated a sex trafficking ring. The next month, he died by suicide in jail. First Stephen Colbert, then Jimmy Kimmel. Now the FCC could target The View. FCC Chair Brendan Carr says the FCC's equal opportunity rule requires stations to grant political candidates the same amount of airtime. However, most talk shows and late night programs are exempt under the agency's bona fide news classification. That means a program that discusses current events. Carr questions whether The View should continue to qualify for that exemption.
France officially opened Notre Dame Cathedral towers 6 years after that severe fire there. French President Emmanuel Macron attended today's inauguration of the newly restored towers. Macron was given the honor of being the first person to be given a tour of the towers, including a close-up view of the cathedral's famous gargoyles. The towers reopened to the public this weekend.
Next at noon, ICE showdown in Chicago. A look at the moment immigration enforcement clashed with protesters outside a Chicago facility.
Examining an exoplanet. Light years away is a planet that could have an atmosphere just like ours on Earth. What new information we've learned about that planet?
And sights on a Senate seat. Former Governor Roy Cooper is taking on Medicaid as he vies to be a U.S. Senator. A preview of what he's discussing today. Next.
Coming up next, sea storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive Dual Doppler 5000. Sponsored by the WRAL Weather app. Download now for live radar.
Police and protesters clashed outside a federal immigration facility in the Chicago area early this morning. Video shows masked men dragging a protester who tried to block a van from leaving the facility. The guards could be seen detaining an individual and then taking that person back behind the gate. As the protests grew in number, clouds of smoke spread from what appeared to be tear gas from the agents.
What is happening here is it's crimes against humanity, plain and simple. This is a processing facility. People are not supposed to be here for more than 12 hours at a time. And they are being held for days or even weeks at a time without beds, without hot meals, without hygienic products. These are people being kidnapped off the streets by masked men. We don't know who they are. If now is not the time to stand up, I don't know when is.
Organizers say they plan to demonstrate weekly as long as Operation Midway Blitz continues.
Governor Stein says soldiers are not needed to help with law enforcement in North Carolina. He made his remarks recently after President Donald Trump deployed troops in D.C. and warned he'd do the same in other Democrat-run cities. Trump has also focused heavily on the recent stabbing that happened in Charlotte last month. 23-year-old Irina Zarutska died after that. Stein says we need more police patrolling, not the military.
We don't need soldiers on our streets. Let's use that money that's very expensive and actually apply it to making sure we have more law enforcement officers who can serve our community, deter crime, and hold those who commit crime accountable.
State lawmakers plan to return to Raleigh next week. Stein said they need to work on finally passing a new state budget. He said it should include his proposal for higher salaries for law enforcement.
A large contingent of first responders joined an early morning procession in Pennsylvania for the 3 officers killed in the line of duty. All 3 Northern York County Regional Police officers were killed when a suspect opened fire as police were executing an arrest warrant Wednesday. The remains of Detective Sergeant Cody Becker, Detective Isaiah Emmenheiser, and Detective Mark Baker were taken to Lehigh Valley Hospital in Allentown, where autopsies will be performed. 2 other officers were also wounded. The suspect was shot and killed during the exchange of gunfire. Authorities in Washington state believe they've recovered the remains of a man accused of killing his 3 daughters. U.S. Marshals and state officials had been searching for Travis Decker since May 30th, when he did not return his daughters to their mother's home. The remains were found in a wooded area. 5-year-old Olivia, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 9-year-old Peyton were found suffocated to death at an abandoned campsite in June.
There might be an Earth-like atmosphere on an exoplanet located 40 light years from us. Astronomers say the planet is similar to Earth in size. It's part of the TRAPPIST-1 system, located 235 trillion miles away from us. The exoplanet was discovered during observations from the James Webb Space Telescope. Experts are working to confirm if that planet is habitable and could sustain liquid water. Now, if confirmed, it would be a first in history to discover an Earth-like atmosphere on an exoplanet. Pretty cool. All right, pretty close to Earth, very different. We're not talking about the big size thing, we're talking about the little things. Bug Fest right now, where Elizabeth Gardner is at right there. Teeny tiny bugs there, Elizabeth. It's always a fun event to go to.
It really is. And coming up in a little while, about half an hour, we're going to talk about some bigger bugs. And when we say bugs, but this is all about arthropods. And so, interestingly enough, there's always a theme bug. There's always a bug of the year. And behind me, you can see these folks are working on their sand sculpture. So there's a blue whale, because there's a really amazing blue whale exhibit going on inside. And so the krill, those little bitty, what do you even call them? They're, not fish, or they're arthropods that live in the ocean. And so that's the bug of the year, which is really cool. I have a lot of things that I want to talk about while I have you right now. We're going to talk about the weather first, and then I want to introduce you to one of the folks here at the museum. So let's jump on out, and we've got a nice look at the airport again. It's just beautiful out here, but it is warm and sticky. I'll tell you what, even with that dew point at 62, if it were July, we wouldn't think of it as sticky, but I tell you, I'm about to sweat out here. It's 86 degrees, and we're looking at 90 for this afternoon in Raleigh and Durham, 93 in Fayetteville. And if we hit 90 today, it'll be only the 3rd time that we've hit 90 in September. We only hit one 90-degree day back in August. Tomorrow's going to be hot out here, but there are a lot of shady spots. I'm out here in the shade, so come on out. Lots of tents here at Bug Fest. It's cooler on Sunday. We're going to see a front that comes through. No rain with that front, but it does stay on the muggy side. Tomorrow and Sunday, our dew points will be in the mid-60s, so that's a touch muggy. Honestly, tropical up in the 70s would make it feel a lot worse. Why is it so hot all of a sudden? High pressure sitting offshore is feeding warmth and moisture up into our area. It's going to make it feel warm. Football Friday this evening is going to be fine. Temperatures will drop on into the mid-80s by game time, so just head out in your shorts and t-shirts, and games ending temperatures in the mid-70s. And then Duke plays NC State at home. Again, game time temperatures in the mid-80s, but it does stay nice and dry for us. There's a look at that 7-day forecast, and we have some ups and downs. It's a little bit cooler for us on Sunday and Monday, the first day of fall, but then hotter again Wednesday, and another chance of thunderstorms on Thursday. All right, I want to introduce you to Carrie Woe. Come on over here with the museum. And Carrie talks to us all the time, but it has been a while.
It has been.
I know you're excited about Bug Fest.
Oh, yeah.
It comes around every year. What's special this year?
Oh, well, this year is very special because we are celebrating krill, those little tiny crustaceans that the giantest animals on the planet eat. And we have all kinds of our old favorites, Arthropod Olympics, Funky Bug, and Tenacrowns. We do have some construction going on downtown, so our footprint has shifted a little bit. So when you come down to Bug Fest, you'll notice things are just a little different from normal, but it's still going to be fantastic.
So will people be able to eat a bug?
Oh, of course. It's the best part of Bug Fest.
Is that the best part?
Yes, Cafe Insecta is obviously the best part of Bug Fest. So yes, we have lots of chefs who are coming preparing delicious buggy food, and everybody gets to try them.
That's so crazy. All right, and you do have something to share right here. So tell me what this is.
Yeah, so we have Rice Krispy Creeks. So with some crickets in it. So
you know, I've eaten the chocolate syrup cookie before, and you know, I don't remember seeing this many.
Oh yeah, they're in there. They were just hidden.
I know they're hidden. Okay, so
right. Yeah,
so,
here we go.
I gotta do this. So
you gotta do it. So let me.
That one with
you don't.
big, no,
that one's got
no,
big
that
wings.
one,
Which
no,
okay, you pick.
I don't know. One of these.
A smaller one,
yes,
a little
please.
guy. Okay, yeah. We don't. You don't need to start with the big, huge adult cricket. They have a lot of chitin, so they're real crunchy. All right,
here goes. I mean, that's not too bad. You can see there it is. Right. All right, here we go.
How is it?
It's really good. And the thing about it is, with the Rice Krispie treats, because it's already crunchy, you don't even notice. Do you know what the chefs are going to be cooking?
Yeah, so I don't know exactly specifically the things, but we sorted the bugs earlier. There's a lot of superworms involved and a lot of crickets involved. So
crickets are okay. I don't know about superworms.
Yeah, crickets are in my humble opinion, crickets are the best. Superworms a little lower.
Carrie, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Coming up, we're going to talk more about the tropics and go inside the museum.
So, Elizabeth, crickets in Rice Krispie treats, just like M&Ms in Rice Krispie treats, right? Yeah. Okay.
Just like it.
Well, added protein. All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Drone dinner delivery, maybe with bugs? Uber Eats is teaming up with another company to fly takeout meals to customers. The perks of using this system after the break.
Romance recession. New studies show that Gen Z is struggling the most financially. How money challenges are affecting their social lives. With inflation creeping up, new trends are emerging in how young people are spending their money. Although Gen Z spending is growing faster than that of previous generations, many high prices are cramping their style and their love lives. Here's Jared Halpern.
It turns out that adulting is more expensive than expected.
Making ends meet is tough for younger Americans, and it's causing a big change in how Gen Z is spending money. New data from Bank of America shows over half of Gen Z think the high cost of living will stop them from becoming successful. And now a growing number are putting their love lives on hold, spending no money on dating as they get their financial houses in order.
Spending money on dates is similar, akin to spending money on entertainment, on traveling. And when you're pinched, I think all impacts of entertainment, if you will, could get in the way.
The survey is shedding light on a growing trend. Loud budgeting, being upfront with friends, family, even romantic partners about how much you plan to spend and why you can't be more social.
It's acceptable to tell a friend or a family member you won't be joining them at the movies or out to dinner on a Friday night.
The good news, Gen Z is starting to take action on their finances. 72% say they've taken steps over the past year to improve their bottom line, including increasing savings and paying down debt.
These are like the opposite of dating and entertainment. Not a lot of fun, but so very important.
And that was Jared Halpern reporting. Gen Z may not be spending as much on dating and going out, but it is top of mind. Nearly 80% say financial responsibility is a top trait when choosing a partner.
Still ahead this noon hour, the race for North Carolina's open U.S. Senate seat. Today, we're hearing from former Governor Roy Cooper for the first time since announcing his candidacy. A live report that's coming up.
And it's a clean sweep for Dix Park, the recognition this 300-acre destination park in Raleigh received from the Sir Walter Raleigh Awards.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Today, we'll hear from former North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, who now has his sights set on North Carolina's open U.S. Senate seat.
Yeah, and Cooper will be speaking at a healthcare roundtable in Raleigh in less than an hour, one of his first public events since he announced his candidacy. That's where we find WRAL's Monica Casey. Monica, what are we expecting at this roundtable?
Well, this event will be right over here at the Chavis Community Center. And with this healthcare roundtable headed by Roy Cooper, we can expect to hear a lot about Medicaid. Now, you will remember Medicaid expansion was one of Roy Cooper's biggest accomplishments as governor, and it's been in the spotlight again with congressional Republicans' big tax and spending plan, the one backed by President Trump. That law would essentially kill Medicaid expansion here in North Carolina, and the current U.S. Senator in this seat, Republican Tom Tillis, spoke out against it. Now, while Cooper does not have the Democratic nomination for this seat secured just yet, he is the clear frontrunner. On the Republican side, the frontrunner is Michael Whatley, who was a big supporter of that Republican bill. Whatley also has Trump's backing, it's worth noting. Now, this event starts at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and we will have continuing coverage throughout the day of what is discussed here. Live in Raleigh, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Destiny Patterson here in the WRAL Live Center. The country music industry and the community is mourning the death of Brett James. Take a look. This is from Dierks Bentley. He posted on Instagram saying, "Rest in peace." He called him a fellow aviator and one of the best singer-songwriters in the town, a total legend. Towards the end of the post, he says that the song that they created together, their friendship, changed his life, and he's sending prayers to his family. Another post that we see here from Jay DeMarcus, he's part of the Rascal Flatts group. He says that he has no words for this one. He is heartbroken. To give you a little bit of background, James was one of the people that was killed in a plane crash in western North Carolina yesterday. That plane was registered to him, and again, he is a Grammy-winning songwriter. He's best known for the song "Jesus Take the Wheel" that was sung by Carrie Underwood. He's 57 years old, and he is a father, and now authorities are investigating the cause of that crash.
A public memorial will be held for Erica Lucas today. She's a former Wake County principal and the wife of Wake Forest High School's football coach. A visitation and celebration of life were held yesterday afternoon. Lucas died 2 weeks after she was shot at a home in Wake Forest. Police say she was not the intended target, though. Today's memorial will be at Friendship Chapel Baptist Church, and that is from 6 to 7 p.m.
Threats from cyberspace are expanding at a rapid pace. This year, the White House defunded the office coordinating cyber defense on the state and local level. Eben Brown spoke with one sheriff who is asking lawmakers to restore those funds before it's too late.
The federal belt tightening since President Trump returned to office could be compromising America's cybersecurity. Most people haven't heard of the Multi-State Information Sharing and Analysis Center, but it plays a key role in keeping you safe online, partnering with Homeland Security as a round-the-clock first responder for cyber threats to state and local governments. But the center lost its federal funding this year, and experts say the impact is big.
Knowing how cyber bad actors are changing their tactics, and our ability to synergize that information at the state and local level is an imperative.
Now a growing number of cybersecurity experts want Congress to restore funding, arguing the center supports the administration's goals, protecting the private data of citizens and ensuring the safe operation of local infrastructure, especially for law enforcement.
Everybody has a little bit of their foot into cyber, but nobody really owns it. And for that reason, the connectivity and the synergy created by having us all looking at cyber through the same lens has this exponential benefit.
The center's funding agreement with the government ends September 30th. After that, it will switch to a subscription-based model, but not everyone thinks that's sustainable in the long term.
I don't have any discretionary money to invest into these systems. So without that investment through the congressional level, it just creates a gap.
That was Eben Brown reporting. The Department of Homeland Security expects to spend about $92 million this year to fund cybersecurity at the local level.
Just a heads up, Toyota drivers, it's recalling nearly 600,000 vehicles because the display panel could go blank when starting the car. The screens might fail to show critical information, and that includes speed, brake warnings, or tire pressure alerts. Not showing this information could lead to a crash. Dealers will update or replace the display software at no cost. Owners will be notified by October 27th. Uber is partnering with the company Flytrex to roll out drone delivery by the end of the year. The service is expected to shorten delivery times, lower costs, and reduce traffic congestion, all while keeping your meal hot and fresh. Uber tried that idea back in 2019, but regulations led to the company ditching the idea. Flytrex is one of 4 companies authorized by the FAA to be out of the direct vision of the pilot.
It is a clean sweep for Dix Park. The park scored awards for design, preservation, and community impact. At the Sir Walter Raleigh Awards, the Sunflower Poles won in the iconic installations category. And inspired by the widely popular sunflowers that bloom there every year, Duke Energy installed these giant steel sunflowers this summer. The North Carolina Preservation Award, the stone houses captured that award, which spotlights initiatives that show extraordinary commitment to preserving the state's architectural and cultural heritage. The honor will be presented next month in Asheville. Rounding out the list of achievements, the Gibson Play Plaza received the Imprint Award, which celebrates development projects that make a lasting impact on the city's growth, design, and vitality. Death from alcohol. A new report shows it hit a 25-year high in the U.S., the age group that saw the biggest spike.
Tick dangers. Why a new type of tick that's creating concern and ways to protect yourself. Remember, you can watch WRAL News live anytime on WRAL.com or the WRAL app on your streaming device. Getting you a live look at White Lake on a beautiful Friday afternoon. Think someone's out there even fishing. You're watching WRAL News, available on Hulu and the WRAL app on your TV or your streaming device.
Alcohol-related deaths in the U.S. have nearly doubled over the last 25 years. Researchers at UCLA found between 1999 and 2024 that alcohol-induced deaths increased by 89%. They also found that it peaked in 2021 during the COVID pandemic. The largest mortality increase occurred in women between 25 and 34 years old. Alcohol-related liver disease was the main reason for the spike. Wildfire smoke is responsible for more than 41,400 deaths a year. That's more than twice what was previously found in other studies. Researchers predict that climate change will cause the number to grow by an additional 26,000 to 30,000 deaths within the next 25 years. Scientists studied death records as well as satellite and ground data on wildfire smoke pollution to measure how smoke exposure affected deaths.
Health experts warn about a newly introduced tick. The invasive Asian longhorn tick is becoming more widespread. It was first found in New Jersey in 2017. Most Asian longhorn ticks go after livestock, but experts have seen them latch onto people and pets too.
Can reproduce without mating. So when she gets her full blood meal, she will produce viable eggs, and those will hatch into larval ticks. So they are very quick spreading.
The tick season is also getting longer. Conditions in the fall are becoming more prime for ticks to stay active. To prevent tick bites, the CDC recommends removing leaf debris from your yard, not venturing into tall grass, and using repellents.
Chief of Shellcurity, how a rescued reptile is gaining popularity in his new hometown.
And auctioning Ali's draft card. How much the unsigned document is expected to bring in. He could float like a butterfly and sting like a bee in the boxing ring, but boxing legend Muhammad Ali would not sign his Vietnam draft card in 1967.
This weekend's beautiful weather will certainly have a lot of folks wanting to get out and about. You can check out Asia Fest at Booth Amphitheater in Cary. You can explore nearly 100 exhibits and vendors. The dragon boat races are always a highlight, and the food options. You can enjoy a wide variety. I'm excited to MC the main stage performances. WRAL is a proud media partner. You can buy tickets in advance on the Booth Amphitheater website. Seniors and children under 12 are free.
Today is 919 Day in the Triangle, and a big party is planned for tonight at NC State's Centennial Campus. The local holiday happens every September 19th, a nod to the local area code. The celebration in Raleigh will include live music, food trucks, and local vendors. And a local name is scheduled to perform as well, Raleigh native Jason Adamo.
So many fun things happening this weekend, including Bug Fest over at the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences. Elizabeth Gardner is back with us, and last half hour we saw you chewing on some delicious Rice Krispies with a certain ingredient.
That's right. The crickets, and it was great. I'll tell you what, I've had the cookie and now the Rice Krispies. I like the Rice Krispies because they're already crunchy, so you can't really tell. We did move inside because not only will there be tons of fun stuff outside, but all the cool stuff inside as well. And so for the last 20 minutes, we've been talking about this amazing lobster right here. Look at her. It's a female, and she is huge. I don't know if you can get the sense of how big she is. She's got this toy here that she's playing with. It's got some food in it, and she's going to work to try to get that out. Okay, she's got a great story. So the folks at the museum found her at a grocery store, and they brought her here in 2013, and so she's been here ever since, growing. So one of the things that you're going to learn if you come inside, this is Marissa Cole, and this is one of the molts, and so this is what the lobster looked like a few months ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago. So this molt is actually from 2023, January of 2023. And she has molted since then. She molts about once every 2 years as an adult. But when they're younger, they molt more frequently.
Wow, that's great. And so this is going to be part of the exhibit, part of what people can learn about. And I think people think of bugs as very small things, but she's huge.
Yeah, exactly. And they keep growing. She'll get bigger and bigger, and they can live to be about 100 years old.
Wow.
And during that time, they just continue to grow.
Wow.
So,
and you're going to be doing a talk in the Daily Planet.
Yes, I'll be talking all about American lobsters and our American lobster specifically at 11 a.m. tomorrow in the Daily Planet Theater.
Okay, so I enjoyed eating the cricket, but lobster. Next time, right? Lobster.
Yeah, maybe.
Why did I eat a cricket? All right, let's jump on out. And speaking of oceans, we're going to jump out and talk about what's happening in the tropics right now. If you're planning to head off to the beach this weekend, it's all going to be fine. That red dot that you see right in the middle of the screen is our storm. Tropical storm Gabrielle right now has winds still at 50 miles per hour. It really hasn't gotten any stronger. It's moving to the northwest at 12 miles per hour. And when we take a look at the forecast path, it looks very similar to what it's looked like over the last 24 hours or so. It takes that northerly turn really quickly. Over the weekend, it may become a hurricane, but it stays way offshore. If you're headed to the beaches, you always want to watch for rip current danger, but it doesn't look like this storm is going to cause us a whole lot of problems. What we'll see over the weekend is hot and somewhat humid conditions today and tomorrow. But Sunday, we have that front that'll drop through, and that is going to bring us slightly cooler temperatures. So we go from closer to 90 today and tomorrow to closer to 80 on Sunday. So Sunday should feel comfortable. We are looking at dry conditions all the way through Tuesday, which sounds great, which will be wonderful for being outside. But the drought monitor came out yesterday, and for the first time since May, we have a few areas that we're dealing with moderate drought. So a few counties near Fayetteville and a few counties in our northeastern portion of the viewing area. So we definitely do need some rain. Looking ahead 6 to 10 days out, the Climate Prediction Center shows us a better chance of wetter conditions. We could definitely use some of that rain. Of course, we're getting into October, and it's such a wonderful time to be outside. Officially, fall starts on Monday. It'll be 82 degrees, and our next best chance of rain doesn't come until next Thursday. So many things happening over the weekend. Bug Fest is always one of my favorite events, but you have a lot of choices. The weather looks dry all weekend. Just dress for summer on this last weekend of summer. Y'all have a good weekend.
All right, you too, Elizabeth. Now I want some lobster, though.
I had no idea they could get that large and live to 100 years.
I know, right?
Fascinating. All right, well, on Monday it'll be fall, but we're already counting down to Christmas. The U.S. Postal Service wants to help families have a happy holiday when customers will have to ship packages for on-time arrival.
As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines that we're following today. Classes are canceled today at UNC Wilmington after an active shooter became a false alarm, it turns out, and sent the campus on lockdown. Today, the university's chancellor expressed frustration and anger over that situation. Last night, an alert went out to the campus community telling them about an unconfirmed report of a person with a gun at the school. Well, everyone sheltered in place for about 3 hours until 10 o'clock, but again, the reports of a gunman were false.
High school football fans will see increased security measures tonight, 1 week after shooting at Southwest Edgecombe. The sheriff is doubling the number of deputies at these games. Fans will also notice more lighting, weapons detection systems, and metal detectors. 17-year-old Jamarian Hinton is charged with attempted first-degree murder in that shooting. Newly obtained warrants reveal investigators use body camera video, witness statements, and phone tracking technology to find and arrest him.
Today we'll hear from former North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, who now has his sights set on North Carolina's open U.S. Senate seat. Cooper is speaking at a health care roundtable in Raleigh, one of his first public events since he launched his campaign. He's expected to face Republican Michael Whatley, who has President Trump's support. You can expect coverage during our evening news starting at 4 o'clock.
Boxing legend Muhammad Ali elevated the anti-Vietnam War movement by refusing to sign his draft card in 1967. Now that piece of history is being auctioned by Christie's. Ali was banned from boxing for 3 years for his refusal to be drafted. He appealed the ruling, and the Supreme Court later overturned his conviction. The online sale takes place October 10th through the 28th. The document is expected to be sold for somewhere between $3 million and $5 million. All
right, prepare for the holiday rush. Yes, we know it's not even October yet, but the U.S. Postal Service wants to help customers avoid shipping delays. Cards and gifts should be sent by December 17th for Ground Advantage and First Class Mail. For Priority Mail, it's December 18th. And for Priority Mail Express, it's December 20th.
That feels so far away, but it will be here before you know it. The newest member of a police force in Iowa is winning hearts in her community. Oh, take a look at this. This is Officer Bonsai, an honorary police officer, and yes, she's a tortoise. Bonsai was found wandering around in Wisconsin. An officer drove 14 hours round trip